Welcome back to our channel, Best to Watch. Today we are here to talk about the top 10 needlessly sexualized female movie characters. But before we get started, subscribe to our channel to never miss any updates. So without any further delay, let's get started quickly. Sometimes a sexy character can add an outstanding element to a movie, but sometimes we have to ask, is it really necessary? Do movies really sell on sexualized movie characters? Well, following is the list of top 10 unnecessarily sexualized female movie characters. Number 1. Leeloo, The Fifth Element, 1997. Well, if you want to make a woman, you can model Milla Jovovich, but this is not a strange science. In this sci-fi action movie, Jovovich plays Leeloo, one of the supreme beings in the creation. Her two main outfits consist of a series of dressings that expose more skin than they cover, and a crop top with tight pants and suspenders that wrap around the crotch. However, it can be said that the movie demanded her to be a sexy female lead to play with Bruce Willis, but did her character really need to be naked in front of everyone? The synopsis of the movie says, in the 23rd century, a New York City taxi driver, Corbin Dallas, played by Bruce Willis, finds the fate of the world in his hands when Leeloo, played by Milla Jovovich, falls into his taxi. As an incarnation of the fifth element, Leeloo needs to combine with the other four to prevent the approaching great evil from destroying the world. Along with Father Vito Cornelius, played by Ian Holm, and wild announcer Ruby Rhod, played by Chris Tucker, Dallas must race against time and the evil industrious Zorg, played by Gary Oldman, to save humanity. Number 2. Halle Berry, Swordfish, 2001. Sure, I don't think the audience was complaining about seeing Halle Berry topless, but was this really the movie she should have made? The scene seemed out of place with the rest of the movie, an action crime thriller about computer hackers, and critics complained that the moment was added to just give more attention to Swordfish. At least she was paid an additional $500,000. The synopsis of the movie says, there is a world within our world, a world below what we call cyberspace, a world protected by firewalls, passwords, and the most advanced security systems. In this world, we hide our deepest secrets, our most incriminating information, and of course, a lot of money. This is the world of Swordfish, the world's most dangerous spies hired by the CIA to force a recently released hacker from jail to help steal $6 billion in unused government funds. Number 3. Christmas Jones, The World Is Not Enough, 1999. Indeed, blonde girls are considered sexy and are often overtly sexual. But the world isn't enough. Christmas Jones is overkill. She's a nuclear physicist who is tasked with supporting Bond on his mission to prevent a nuclear meltdown. This character could certainly have added more depth to the movie than the Bond girls of the past. That is, if she was not played by Denise Richards. Richards, who won Razzie in her performance, claimed that he liked the role because the character was smart. Maybe they really fit the explanation instead, no less about being wild. I should have chosen an actress who hasn't been. The synopsis of the movie says Bond, played by Pierce Brosnan, must compete to ease the international power struggle while the world's oil supply is in equilibrium. Electra King, played by Sophie Marceau, is the daughter of a murdered oil king who's assigned to be protected by Bond. The villain is Leonard, played by Robert Carlyle, who has a bullet stuck in his brain and can't feel any pain. Dr. Christmas Jones, played by Denise Richards, an expert on nuclear weapons, also appears. Number 4. Raquel Welch, 1 Million Years BC, 1966. This adventure fantasy movie was not intended to be historically accurate as it depicts dinosaurs living with humans. It's more believable that Rona's look and dress, but it's played by the stunning Raquel Welch. Rihanna's shabby clothes barely hold her breasts in place, and her beautiful hair and long legs don't make her look like a cave dweller, but like a Victoria's Secret model. If you ask today, few people will remember the movie synopsis, but most people will recognize the iconic pinup poster. I know Andy Dufresne does. The synopsis of the movie says, the cave dweller Tumac is exiled from the rocks and joins the shells until they are also exiled. One of their women, Rihanna, leaves with him when faced with a harsh prehistoric world. Number 5. Princess Leia Organa, Star Wars Episode VI, Return of the Jedi, 1983. Princess Leia was undoubtedly everyone's fantasy girl when the original Star Wars trilogy appeared in the theater, but in the first two films, George Lucas was more of a girlfriend than taking advantage of her feminine image, focused on the development of the character of. Of course, he couldn't uphold forever, and we were given the gold bikini outfit famous for the Return of the Jedi. This answered the prayers of all the fanboys, but it felt like a cheap abuse of a strong female character. The synopsis of the movie says, Luke Skywalker, played by Mark Hamill, fought the dreaded Jabba the Hutt and the cruel Darth Vader, saved his companions in the Rebel Alliance, and defeated the Galactic Empire. Han Solo, played by Harrison Ford, and Princess Leia, played by Carrie Fisher, reaffirm their love and team with Chewbacca, Lando Calrissian, played by Billy D. Williams, Ewok, Android C-3PO and R2-D2, and help the dark side collapse, in the defeat of the evil Emperor. Number 6. Natasha Romanoff, Black Widow. Female characters in comic books are often abused for their sexuality and are depicted with large breasts that are barely held in leather outfits that are close in contact with the skin. This is the same as Black Widow, also known as Natasha Romanoff. The Avengers gave her a tight leather outfit that seems to soften her sexuality a bit from her cartoon, but still seemed quite unrealistic to fight aliens. Also, I couldn't help noticing that there were some shots throughout the movie where her character appeared to be a little too long in pause. The synopsis of the movie says Natasha Romanoff, also known as Black Widow, faces the dark side of her ledger when a dangerous plot with a connection to her past occurs. Natasha is chased by unstoppable forces to defeat her, has to deal with her history as her spy in a broken relationship, awakens long before she becomes an Avenger. Number 7. Tinkerbell, Peter Pan 1953, and Hook 1991. Fairies always seem to be portrayed as gorgeous women, but it may have started with Disney's Peter Pan. Indeed, like many Disney female characters, Tinkerbell is in the shape of an exaggerated hourglass, highlighted by her big blue eyes and bright blonde hair. But when she draws the line on her skimpy green dress, almost nothing is covered. They may have changed the look of Hook a bit, but Julia Roberts reveals a lot of legs for what still seemed to be an innocent fairy. Number 8. Angelina Jolie. Although the video game industry is more responsible for this entry than the filmmakers, their guilt still remains. They had the opportunity to focus more on the intellectual and athletic side of the British archaeologist adventure, but instead cast Angelina Jolie and gave her skin-tight tops and shorts to put on. Jolie certainly has an acting chop to pull a female action hero apart, but she was forced into her eye candy for this movie. Number 9. Lola Bunny, Space Jam 1996. Just because you don't have an obvious female lead in a film doesn't mean you need to turn a character into an object of sexual desire, especially if that character is a bunny. We're looking at you, Space Jam. Lola Bunny is sexualized for absolutely no reason in this flick, as she wears incredibly short shorts and a crop top that hangs off her body. Surely that can't meet the uniform standards in the basketball rulebook. Plus, she's a bunny. What really makes it awkward is how everyone, including Michael Jordan, checks her out. The synopsis of the movie says, Swackhammer, played by Danny DeVito, the owner of the evil alien theme park, needs a new attraction at Moron Mountain. As his gangster Nerdlux heads to Earth to kidnap Bugs Bunny, played by Billy West in Looney Tunes, Bug challenges a basketball game to determine their fate. Aliens agree, but steal the power of NBA basketball players such as Larry Bird and Charles Barkley. That's why Bugs gets help from the superstar Michael Jordan. Number 10. Megan Fox, Transformers Dark of the Moon 2010. We understand Megan Fox is hot. She also plays a character who's supposed to be in high school, which makes her the definition of jailbait in this movie. While Michael Bay similarly over-sexualizes Rosie Huntington-Whiteley in Transformers Dark of the Moon, at least her character was of legal age. Did Michaela Bain serve any purpose other than to be an illegal visual appeal to the audience? Remember the next time you look at the poster of her on your wall of her leaning over the hood of the car. The synopsis of the movie says Sam Witke, played by Shia LaBeouf, and his new girlfriend, Carly, played by Rose Huntington-Whiteley, join the fight when the evil Destron resumes its long-standing war with Autobots. Optimus Prime, voiced by Peter Cullen, believes that the revival of the ancient Transformer Sential Prime, voiced by Leonard Nimoy, once leader of the Autobots, could lead to victory. But that decision has devastating consequences. The war turned in Destron's favor and seemed to lead to a climax battle in Chicago. This was all about it, and on that note, that's all for today's video. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you hit like and subscribe to our channel Best to Watch. Let us know your thoughts in the comments section.